There is a saying in retirement circles: retire and rewire. Retire and rewire. My view is retire and rewire with forthcoming desire. What do I mean by that? Forthcoming desire. When we retire, we often think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now I am retired? This often follows after that initial flush of, I'm free, I can now do what I want. And of course, you can do what you want. No more routine to stick by, perhaps no more commuting, no more having to stick by certain timetables. And you might think, wow, that's freedom. But after a while, you miss that sort of structure. You find you have all this free time. You've been on the holiday trip. You bought the few things you want. And now maybe 20 or 30 years lies ahead of you. What are you going to do? This is the time a lot of people become despondent. I'm of no further use. I've lost my job. Nobody wants me anymore. And so forth. And pity can set in. And that loss of identity. I was a plumber. And now I'm nothing. Nobody wants me anymore. And so depression can really set in to the extent where a person thinks they are worthless. Worth nothing more to society. Nothing could be further from the truth, of course. You now have the knowledge of years behind you. Not just in your own category or specialisation. You have experience with life. You've been through it. You've been through the tough times. And now you have at least a modicum of wisdom. What am I going to do? As I said, you go through this period of depression. Then you think to yourself, well, I'll try a few things. What can I do? People say voluntary work. You try a few jobs, voluntary work. I did that. Maybe took perhaps 5 years dipping my attention into various organisations, joining, throwing them away, and so forth, becoming disillusioned, but eventually finding what I truly love to do, which is speaking to audiences, teaching people what I know. That's what I'm doing here now with you. You might have your own passions. Now, when I'm talking about future desire, the retire and rewire with desire. Think back to when you were a teenager. Now, this won't apply to everyone, but say in your late teens, you've just started your first job and you're thinking to yourself, wow, adventure. You're not thinking in terms of becoming a managing director or the leader of the gang. What you're normally thinking about is, how can I really enjoy life? The adventure of life lies ahead of me. I don't know where it's going to take me. I have the choices. Normally we do. In the Western world, at least. Some parts of the world, of course, there's little choice at all. If you live on the farm and that's all you know, you're going to be a farmer, probably. But the choices are there. The sense of adventure, the sense of things to do, life to experience. This is what we have when we're young. We don't pick the easy path. I can remember my own daughter when she started work. She was offered a job where she could virtually catch a bus down the street and be in a workplace straight away. No, she didn't want that. She wanted the experience of the big city, to commute by rail, to go into the big office, find out what it was like in the real world, the city world. And that's what we're like when we're young. We want adventure. We want to see it all and do it all. And then gradually we lose that over time. By the time we retire, we think, oh, well, what now? We have to now rewire the desire to do the things that we possibly don't know we can do at this stage. We have gifts. All of us have unique gifts. Now, think to yourself over the years, say to yourself, what has been my real interest? What's been the driving force with me? What do I do in my spare time? In my holiday moments, perhaps, when I'm perhaps on my own? What really fills my thinking, my heart, my desire? These are the things which will lead you into what you really want to do in retirement. When you find them, they might evolve. They might change over time itself, because as you get older, you realise that the energies you had when you first retired, say in your late 50s, early 60s, isn't there to the same extent in your late 70s, early 80s. So you evolve. You might be doing the same sort of thing, the same area of expertise, but it might change a little bit. In my own case, when I first retired, I was willing to travel to do what I wanted to do. Get in the car and drive for hours. Go overseas. Book into hotels and motels. I wouldn't do that now. That is behind me. So things evolve, but my interest is still the same. Talking to audiences, writing books, educating people as I educate myself, lifelong learning. I think I've found my niche. Have you found yours? If you're a retired, you will go through the tough times wondering what to do. But eventually, if you have the desire to rewire, you will do so. And your years ahead, and they could be very long years, will be happy ones. I've been retired for 28 years now. 28 years, and loving it. Your retirement could be every bit as long. Keep up your health. Keep up your desire for life.